All right, we are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out here. Traded out here. There we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. Hello. Okay, the tweet is out. Gosh, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So, wow. So, yeah, quite a trending day today. So that's kind of where we get the today's technical topic. But let's just take a look at the market real quick. So, good stuff. We've got, pretty much the month is still green, right? Obviously, but we pulled back 27 points today. It was a pretty big pullback. So, after being rejected off of all-time highs again. So upper Bollinger Band on the monthly chart, a little bit of a pullback there. So right now futures are kind of flattish, a little bit green. We'll see how that goes in the morning. Really the big news that everybody's waiting on is the G20. It's kind of starting at the end of the week, so that should be pretty interesting going into Monday. So we'll see if we get a little fireworks, a little action, maybe some good tweets on Monday. But as we head up into that, that's kind of what we have going on. So some earnings are coming out too, which is making day trading a little bit more enjoyable, right? So we had Grub today. I think whether they had earnings or not, but we had Grub today. We had Ulta from yesterday. AbbVie was another one with the big acquisition of AGN today with the huge gap up, which was, by the way, a positive trends trade of the week. So if you want to get the newsletter, right, positive-trends.com/newsletter.html. We also have the educational alert service too. That's out there as well. Just check it out on the website. But anyway, inside week so far. Kind of turned red, right? Obviously after today. So basically, almost 3/4 of the range so far of this week came today. So we came here after this kind of big move up, right? After failing to break down at the cloud, nice push up. Then you had this doji sandwich, right, that pushed us up. That's what we talked about yesterday. And here we are, kind of heading to this week. So basically trend change. Not unexpected, right? We tweeted this out. We tweeted this out basically over the weekend, talking about this topping tail here at the all-time highs, that says, it does have some bearish implications. And so we had a little bit of a pause day yesterday, and then that continuation move today. And what was that? I mean, we filled a couple gaps, right? We filled this gap right here. It's not a gap truly on the daily with the bars, but it filled the closing gap, right? So we closed here and opened here. So we filled that closing gap, and look what else we filled. We filled this closing gap too. There's a little bit of a gap there too. So just some price exploration, price discovery. So we'll see if it wants to hold that gap here as support into tomorrow and give us maybe a little lift into the in the G20, or if we're going after this gap right here. So who knows? We'll see what happens with the futures overnight. So it could be pretty interesting. This is a look at the levels that we trade intraday on the live stream in the Positive Trends group. And so let's see. So we've got here. These were today's levels. Pretty interesting day. So it was definitely a trending day to the downside. What was really interesting here is that this opening 5-minute bar. This is right here. It's inside bar right here from the prior close, right? So it's basically a 5-minute anchor. Anybody who follows my 60 anchor setups on the on Twitter. So you have this 5 anchor bar, right? And then that here's the low of this bar right here, and then which was also yesterday's low. So inside down, right? And look at that big bar right there, inside bar down, right? Huge. And then that hits the S2 level, bounces up, right, and gives another push to the downside. Then it chopped around for a little bit here. This is tricky. This is a good long potential right here. Nice little scalp up to the long side on this downward trend line break off of the weekly pivot level. Then it kind of chopped around. And honestly, it gave 3. This was kind of support here, right? The S2 served as support. Then it started serving as resistance, right? So you kind of have to see that. And then this last tag at resistance right here was a nice push to the downside, a little bit of a bear flag, and then a huge flush right there for a pretty decent move today. And then there was one more push up to test the weekly pivot level, which was prior support, and then became resistance here, and then it was all over there into the end of the day. So pretty big move. There's still a little bit of range there to get to S1 on the weekly chart, and we just didn't quite get there. So just kind of give a recap here of the where we're at intraday. So we've got the SPX, right, has been working its way up through this channel all the way through this 2018, kind of started to break itself down towards the end of the year. Christmas reversal, and then this huge run up all the way up into pretty close to where we are now, off this midpoint line off of the pitchfork, and it was a resistance zone from prior all-time highs. Made new all-time highs here, pushed down, tried to break down below the pitchfork, couldn't do it. Back to the reaction line, and then up. And so put new all-time highs again. So now the question is, it's back in this what used to be resistance, now support zone. Is it going to be able to get out of it, right? So one of the things I like to look at, I think is a great indicator, is the fast stochastic. It really, really works well if you're using levels, like geometric levels, like your pitchfork, some channels, things like that. Really, really helpful. Just to kind of look at. We talked about this recently, that it was getting overbought, on the stochastic, and then today was that kind of that fall through to the downside. So a lot of open gaps that acted as magnets today, and just kind of pulled it down. So that's where we're at. So we'll see how tomorrow is, if these futures get strong and maybe give us a little bit of a rally, maybe try again for all-time highs. So that'd be neat for all the bulls out there. So anyway, good stuff. So that's that. Basically today we want to talk about, since today was a trending day, these are some of the hardest days to trade, especially if it's counterintuitive or counter trend day, right? So we've been going up for so long. Sometimes it's like, okay, well, it's just a pullback, just buy the dip, right? That type of situation. So what is a tool that we can use, other than regular moving averages, to be like, hey, we're trending down or we're trending up. And so this leads us to a really cool indicator that was made by our good friend Mr. Bill Williams. Okay, and Williams, and we've reviewed a couple of his indicators in the past. He's a big pioneer in market psychology, and he developed some really good helpful indicators. And so today we're going to talk about the Williams Alligator. So I have it pulled up over here. Let me actually take this off. What I'll do is let me remove the. Let's go to a clear drawing set here. Let's try this. Okay, so what I've done is I've added this, right? So this is basically just all you got to do is, if you use TOS, just go to your studies and edit studies, or add your Williams Alligator. Okay, and what it does is it gives you 3 different lines, right? And these are not regular moving averages. Okay, these are smooth moving averages. Okay, so there's different calculations that using them. I'm not going to go into the equations. I've got a link to the Investopedia page where it kind of goes through those if you're interested in the mathematics behind it. But what's really cool is that there's three levels, and they're colored according to his actual original indicator. Okay, so the first one, okay, is the what I like to call the I'm sorry, not what I like to call, but what's called, I like to start with these. In Investopedia, they start the other way, but I like to start with how the mouth opens, right? And so picture an alligator, right? And their mouth opens with their lips first, okay? So the green line are the lips, okay? And then next, once they open their lips, what do you see next? You see their teeth. So the red line represents the teeth, okay? And then the blue line represents the jaw, because once they open their lips and their teeth, next they open that jaw up and they're ready to pounce, okay? So an attack, right? So what he designed this, and he came up with this, is because he noticed that, right, the majority of the time, right, the majority of time that like good money is made is when we're trending, right? So that's what I always say, like buy when it's going up and sell when it's going down, right? So he said about like 15 to 30% of the time we're trending. That's where you want to make profits, and the rest of the time is 70 to 80% of the time he's saying we're chopping, right? And so this helps us find trend. So you can see here during this chop period, and just to kind of give you an idea, so you can see how everything is flat right here, just sort of like you're moving kind of, you don't want to trade in this, right? It's a little bit nasty, right? Until you get everything opens up, right? So there's a couple different things he calls that. So the one, right? So if all of them are moving up, right? So it's basically called he's eating, right? So, or if all of them are opening down, they're eating, right? Like one way or another. So right now, if the green is below the red, is below the blue, the lips are open, the teeth are open, and the jaw is open, and they're all going in the same direction, right? The alligator is eating, right? What he calls the when you're chopping, he calls it sated, right? So he's full and he's good, right? So he's basically just digesting at those points. And then you get those crossovers, right? So he like sleeps and waits and all that stuff, and then when they finally cross over, then he wakes up again, right? And then he starts eating, right? Starts going to town. And so So that's basically the analogy of the alligator. But really, honestly, using the mathematics of these, what these help you do is find trend. And so just kind of looking here at the 5-minute chart today on the SPX, and you can use these anywhere. So let's actually start with the daily just so you can kind of see what's happening here. Okay, so I mean, really, a great example, and let's see how far I went back here. Let's go 3 years. Let's give you a little more data. Okay, so back through 2016, 2017. I mean, what were we doing? We were, especially 2017. If anybody traded, we talked about this when Options Mike was on the other day. It was really, really hard to trade right up at the top because we were, we were super trending. Okay, and one thing I noticed is that this is not a good tool for tracking reversals. Okay, it is not a reversal tool. I highly recommend using whatever your favorite methodology is. Trend lines being highly powerful, because guess what? When a trend changes, it breaks the trend line, right? So that is the logic behind that, right? So here's your trend line right here. This broke the trend line, gave you a little pivot here, and then down, right? That is the trading a trend line methodology. I've got the 3-minute video on that, and we've done some other discussions on trend lines. So to find changes of trend lines are extremely effective, right? But to find where we're at in that trend, or in general to kind of weed out some of the noise between it, is we look at the way this this alligator is open, right? So you can see here all the way up here, and then obviously after the fact we saw a big crossover here, that big dip here at the at the beginning of 2018 in February, and then we got into this kind of messy period, right? So these are the periods here where basically based on this methodology is Williams is saying, okay, sidelines is okay, right? And if you think about it, unless you're a day trader, this is a tough place to swing anything, right? So here, okay, yeah, good to swing, right? And then here, starts to cross over, good place to raise stops. Of course, this is pretty nasty, so depending where you were, you want to do it. But that's why we have the trend line tools as well. So it's not great for tracking reversals, but when you're trending, it's a good way to kind of tell you, like, hey, this is where we're at, right? So eventually got some crossover that we kind of trended up for the rest of 2018. Then they gave that crossover again. Again, this was all we've done this in the trend line video. Right, you take your recent pivot, and where are we at here? You can do it from any pivot point, but just even say like kind of this low right here. You go to your highs, you go to the next pivot down, trend line break right here, right? Gives you a minor pivot, break back down. That is how you trade trend lines, right? And so it's one great way to trade trend lines. So very effective. Okay, and then finally, basically after the Christmas reversal, we had this nice crossover, and then we started trending up again. And what I do like about it, and one of the really unique things is, what are these smooth levels? Okay, they use 3 different smooth moving averages. One is the 3. Well, sorry. One is the okay, so all right, so they're not exact moving averages, right? But we have number 5, number 8, and number 13, okay? Or what they use. So 5, 8, and 13. So being like the smooth moving averages, right? So your lips, right, are going to be the 5, right? The teeth are going to be the 8, and then the jaw is going to be 13, okay? Anything significant about those numbers? So you have 5, 8, and 13. Those are Fibonacci numbers, which is really, really cool. Okay, so when PRHK was on, you got a lot of great stuff about Fibonacci's, and I just think it's really neat that he includes that as part of the indicator. So, something to think about. So one thing I have noticed is that sometimes you get a tag of the, especially in the intraday, you get a tag of the jaws, right? And sometimes you get a nice bounce off of that if you're trending. So something to look at there. So real quick, let's take a look at the 5-minute chart here of the SPX. I just want to kind of show you. Today, kind of coming into today. So this is Tuesday, right here. This is Monday, coming into Tuesday. Okay, so really, really choppy. Had this nice move right here, and then a nice reversal on quad witching Friday. We come into Monday, and if you guys remember yesterday, it was horribly choppy, right? I think I took like one trade, like caught a little profit, like somewhere in here. It was like the biggest move of the day. And other than that, choppy. But look what happened. Right, as we chopped, we kind of melted down, right, yesterday, and so now the trend here on the short-term time frame is down, right, and so looking for short setups on the day trading side is actually really, really effective with this. So one of those options is right here. So we had an inside bar right just to open the day today, right? So an inside based on the prior close, there's your 5-minute anchor. Then that breaks down like right there, and that what a perfect short on that, right? And then we kind of chopped around and all that stuff. But here we're looking for short setups because the trend is down, right? So push down, kind of chop to the side, and a couple really interesting things like here. What I want to point out today was really neat. So when you can't find clear setups intraday, that's where you want to step back and look for bigger picture patterns, right? So here at a 1, 2, 3, basically a triple top, right? So right here, and so this was when it finally came over and it tagged this the top of this Williams Alligator, right? The 13 bar. Look at that push down right here, and then intraday, right? This is a short term. We like to trade these, short term trend line right here, like this. There's your break bar off the Williams bar, then. You could have waited for this pivot to break, and then easy, right? Easy push down. Bear flag right here. One more push, just like that. Okay, and then it gave one more turn. The Williams are still, everything's pointing down, right? It's pushing up, but everything's pointing down. What does it do? It comes right back to the 13, right? Inside bar, right? Key reversal bar, right? Just like we saw on AGN on the daily, and then flush down after a bear flag. A little bear flag right here. Perfect one of those, and then down. So I think it's really nice. I think it's a really nice indicator. I think it's great for showing trend. So this will be pretty interesting to see how this is into tomorrow, right? Because we're still showing this downtrend line. So we'll see if we get like maybe a little bit of chop into the open, and then and see if the trend changes. See if there's maybe some excitement coming into the G20 or something like that. So we shall see. But really, really cool tool. I'm probably going to add this to my day trading too. So I think it's a great tool to use. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30 so we can all get a good night's sleep for another fun day of trading tomorrow. So we'll see what kind of shenanigans they throw at us. So it should be pretty fun. So good stuff. SFDC4S, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Okay, so our McClellan Oscillator is at -26. Awesome, thank you. So let me know when we're finally oversold there, so we can get some logs. We can buy the dip. That's awesome. So Uzi, what's happening? Let's look at Ang. Oh, flex the Angangs. Oh, nice. Thank you. Yeah. So this is our trade of the week from the newsletter, and guys. I mean, it was just. I mean, ANG or AGN. Sorry, guys. Allergan are the Botox makers, right? So huge move today. Here's what we were looking at, guys. This was a newsletter trade. If you got, I tweeted out. Well, I don't think I tweeted out the setup, but so here's what we were looking at. We had a nice Morningstar reversal back here. Okay, so that kind of got us interested in it, right? Had a gap up, so a little bit of a breakaway gap right here. So very, very bullish move. Inside day, right? And this is what I was just talking about on the that 5-minute chart. Then we broke below the inside candle and failed to break down. And what that happens is a bullish signal, right? So it shows that, hey, we went inside, price was undecided, price couldn't break down, so the price said, no, I don't want to go down there, and then it came back in this range right here. So this was an idea. Some subscribers had some lottos on this, and then woke up this morning. I think they spent like $100, and then woke up this morning with like $3,000 in their pocket, which is just fantastic, right? So there's how again. These ones are really tough to predict, right? So it's we're a blessing when when that happens, right? But pretty amazing stuff. So that was cool. Uzi, okay, so we got shop. Yeah, let's take a look at shop. Yeah, shop. Wow, got just demolished, right? So I think it had some bad news recently the other day. Obviously the Toppingdale, kind of like a doji pause day, and then a push down. Nice continuation of the downside today. So came down to the trend line, couldn't hold it, broke down below that as well. So just amazing stuff right there. If you look at the, I think it was on the radar maybe yesterday or today. But one thing you can look at, I think on day 2 of news, I think yesterday was the first day of news. Day 2 is we look at the 30 orb, right? So you'll see me tweet that out in the public tweet. So here's your 30 orb right here. Right, so there's your 30 orb, opening range bar. So what we do is we look for setups within that bar. And so we had an inside bar right here, break to the downside, have a nice day, right? So that was shop. Into tomorrow, obviously had a bearish day. Looks like there's some volume tried to come at the end of the day. Tried to maybe capitulate a little bit, but we'll see. Might still get some follow through tomorrow. But today was the day on that 30 orb. What a perfect setup. MU, thank you for bringing this one up. So MU had earnings tonight. This will be a 15 orb list tomorrow. So let's take a look and see. Why am I going this way? I am totally clicking the wrong arrow. Okay. So yeah, so couple little tails right there, but it looks like it's holding up right now. So 35.5, it is up decently after hours. So this will definitely be on the 15 orb list tomorrow. Let's take a look at the daily chart and see at 35.5, we're only up here, which is like a old fib line that I've got on here. So basically it's coming right below the pitchfork still. So nothing major, enough if maybe you got a lotto or something like that, could have done okay. But again, this is always funny when they downgrade these stocks before earnings. It's like you usually expect like a pop, and so that's what happened here. So they like to give themselves a position. So we'll see. I mean, nothing really key on this, on these levels. I mean, you got the pitchfork right here at 36.5. Possible look for a reversal on that one. So there's gonna be some sympathy plays. AMD might be gapping up, Nvidia, things like that. So we'll see. We'll see if that has any action on it. So Google. So Google is pretty neat. Google today, big red bar, right? Real nasty. And guys, like I said earlier, we like to look at the. I like to look at the fast stochastic, I like to look at the fast stochastic on the on these charts. I wanted to add that too with the Williams by using the fast stochastic there in combination with the momentum indicator. It can help a little bit too, just to see. Anyway. So here, real nasty day today, but it came right down to the pitchfork support. I think also on the daily too, it came real close to the mid Bollinger Band. Yeah, so it's right on the mid Bollinger Band. So it's got some algorithmic support here, right? The pitchfork and everything. So it might have been just like inside day down. Right, that was the technical setup here off of the daily chart, and then came right down to the Bollinger Band. So might consolidate here for a little bit, and then if the market's strong, might get a pop. It's actually going to be a little bit on the long radar tomorrow if it can hold these levels. Yeah, and then CMG. So CMG looks like it's kind of still working on this this bull flag that we kind of drew recently. So let's activate that, kind of bring it forward a little bit right there. So try to get out of the bull flag, came back in. So just be careful. It wants to test those levels right here. But if not, maybe we get a little inside day tomorrow and then a pop. So I do like after these big moves, some nice consolidation. So I mean, CMG is still bullish, right, until proven otherwise. Long term, but here you can see it did break down below this upper trend line, so it needs to get out of this channel and start to push up to get a new high, and then we can move this trend line over to just show that the trend is still up. So I guess I just kind of proved myself otherwise, except for that, right? So if we can break out here, we could push to new highs. Good stuff. Sarah, how's it going? Good to see you. Heather, good evening. Sarah, can we please do Diz? We can. Let's take a look. Inside day, over the trend line. I like it. So this is a good place to put an alert right here. I don't want it to go down, so I'm not going to put an alert to the downside. I don't like shorting Disney. So inside day up here. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay? But yeah, it looks pretty good. In fact, that is going on the bullish watch list for tomorrow. Nice one, Sarah. Diz. Perfect. Okay, that looks good. And what else? Jason, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in. Can we take a look at McDonald's, Facebook, and Johnson & Johnson? My pleasure. All right, so let's see. So McDonald's. So McDonald's is struggling to get above this volumetric resistance level all-time highs. Okay, so a lot of times what we see here with these ascending triangles, right, is a lot of times we can get an undershoot and then a move back up. So just be careful with that. It's having trouble getting over those resistance levels. So it might break down and retest this channel, which has been a pretty long-term channel. We looked at that the other day when we were talking about Elliott Wave stuff. So it's been working up this channel. You can see the green, right? So it might come back down, undershoot here, and then if it can have strength there, it might then push up to new highs. So we just need to see where that's at. Although a breakdown out of the channel here could show the end of, I've got a question mark here, an end of a wave 3, and then we might start working on a wave 4, which might bring us down to the cloud or something like that. So so it's pretty interesting. McDonald's is very, very interesting position right now. Facebook, FB. FE is on the short radar, guys. So thank goodness, finally, a trend line break here. So Facebook was tough. There was two trend lines, right? Had this kind of bump and run that we got that kind of ran all the way up. Been really, really gappy, right? Lots of little gaps everywhere. Been really tricky recently, with its Libra, coin and all that stuff. It's kind of holding these levels. Yesterday we looked at this as a possible doji sandwich, even though this wasn't a really big bar, but the bell hold bar. Could have seen a push up, but look what it did. It just served as a reversal bar right off. That was the word of caution that we had off of the pitchfork, and that came back down. Now it's below volumetric resistance, and it is below this upward trend line. So a break below today's lows and into the cloud could be real. This could be a nice bearish swing, right, to fill this gap and this gap right here. So possible shot at 180, right, down the line. Take a look at some options here if we want to. This is puts. I wouldn't buy this week, so I'd buy like maybe next week's or so. 1 or 2 weeks out, maybe even July's. Let's see what those look like. So the 180s right here are $2, right? But the 0.7 deltas, are kind of like around here, about like $10. But so there's potential, right? Potential swing ideas here for a short. If you do the lotto thing, the 180s maybe go 2 weeks out, something like that. But we'll see. We'll see how this holds, right? We'll see how tomorrow looks. But if it's weak and it breaks below today's lows, there's a lot of gaps down here to fill, and this is a trend line break. So we'll see how it handles those levels. So very, very interesting there. And then J&J. J&J. Galley, extremely bullish. It's got earnings coming up, in a couple weeks, which will be pretty interesting. So a lot of Dow stocks are starting to report now, with FedEx and all that. But here's your high. Just put in a recent high. So we just go to the next pivot low area, which is right here. So yeah, still trending up until proven otherwise. But you do have some pitchfork resistance right up above it. So just be careful with that. Nice charts, man. Bruce, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you as always. NetFry, what's up? AMD, please. Looks like strong 50 MA support. Let's see. So AMD. I had the 50 MA on here for a while, and it kind of disappeared. But in fact, let me throw it up there for you. Let's go. I had the 5 MA. Oh, that's part of the indicator. Simple. Even averages. 50. 3. Let's make that. I like to make it red because it's important. There. Boom. There you are. There's your 50 MA support. This is kind of that breakdown here. So here's the trend line. Right here's a recent trend line here. It kind of broke out of that today. So sort of red, kind of bell hold bar right here. I would still look at this thing. It gave us an inside 60 anchor. It's going, like you said, it's gapping a little bit in sympathy with MU, so that could give it some strength. So let's look and see if it takes out today's highs. And if it does, then it gets over this trend line, and the new trend will be up. So we will keep an eye on this too. This is a really nice one, NetFry. New trend up. That is going to go on the bullish list as well. Wow, we got so many great charts now. Remember when everything was just kind of like screaming to all-time highs, and it was like really, really tough to pick anything. And the AMD, though, anytime you're closed over the upper Bollinger Band and your RSI is overbought, good potential area to short. Just FYI on that. Cool. So that's going on the long list too. Session, what's happening? Great ideas. Nice job on Disney today. Appreciate you. Let's take a look at Lulu. Lulu Lemon. We talked about this yesterday, right? Inside day. Watch if it breaks down. Breaks down. All right. So nasty bar. Held. This is prior resistance zone. Let's see. It seems to be holding a support with nice bottom wick today. So just see how it holds there. It might consolidate a little bit and then pop. It's got that gap above too. So inside day down. Can be worth a shot when the market is weak. That's why we like those. Good stuff. Starbucks. Well, I'm guessing it was probably green today, right? Starbucks has been nonstop up. Yeah, it was green. Up 60 cents today. So a little bit of a top tail right here. Held the trend line. Okay, held the upward trend line. Can actually kind of move it a little bit too with today's high because it was here. So there's your high. You go to the next pivot point, which is actually right there. So still holding trend. So as long as it doesn't break below today's lows, just watch that. We could get another pop on it. I mean, even today's range was pretty good. One on Starbucks, 1 point's pretty good. So if it doesn't break down tomorrow, we'll look to go up. Nice. A lot of bullish setups today. CRM. See, those Lulus and those CRMs, they are alluring, aren't they? Because sometimes you get those big bars, but they are very tricky to trade. Very tricky. Nasty bar. Here we had inside day down, right? And then just continuation today. So push through this prior triangle level. So we'll see. Might actually want to test the lower Bollinger Band at some point. Dry. Darden. Has been extremely strong recently, right? Decent earnings, right? Bullish engulfing candle, right? Follow up to the upside, topping tail, inside day. So watch this inside day here. Not quite oversold on the RSI, but I'm sorry, overbought. I don't know why I keep saying it. Oversold just sounds so good, but yeah, so overbought right there. Not overbought, so just be careful with that one. And then Xilinx. All great charts. I mean, these are all great ones to stock, to have on your short list, to watch. This looks like a just basically a reversal day down off the NetFry 50 MA. So that is a basically a holy grail short setup right here. So Xilinx could, I mean, if anything, it might just kind of test the 108 level, the mid Bollinger Band. But if it gets a little bit lower, you could start testing these areas, the 104. Nothing stopping it necessarily. Jay, hello. Thanks for tuning in. I know, Colosol. I wish you were at AGN too. I wish I was at AGN. So, hey, sometimes we come up with ideas and don't take them, but it is what it is. So it was a beautiful, beautiful trade. So, and I'm happy some people profited from it. So that's great. Jay, I see you to the alligator indicators. Yeah, it's just a little bird told me, that it looked interesting, and so I wanted to research it a little bit and kind of share it with everybody. And I'm cool. I like it. I'm definitely gonna be checking it out, at least on the my day trading. So it should be pretty cool. Jay, let's take a look at Twink. I heard some news feed on that today. I just didn't get a chance to look at the Twinkie. Yesterday, I think I heard some news flow. So wow, big news. What was the news on that? Upgrade Hostess. So an upgrade yesterday. So I guess that was it yesterday. So nice upgrade, a little follow through today. For the most part, pretty decent, right? Get some pretty decent volume. You're overbought here on the RSI, and you're over the upper Bollinger Band. So just be careful with this topping tail right here. As you are curious, so I mean, it might get a little pushback to that volume level at 1483. But if it breaks down, it might test the 1350 level. So nice stuff on that. Sarah, do you use this indicator very often? It seems very useful. So you're talking about the alligator. I have not. This is a new one. So I've heard it before, and I just haven't added to my repertoire. As you guys know, if who follow me intraday, I mostly just go trade price and levels, right? But it does help to have a couple other tools in there to to your arsenal. So just kind of take like SPX today. We can actually do anything, but we can even do this right here. I mean, let's do Twinkie. Studies, edit studies. We'll throw the alligator in there. Right. So there he is. So kind of coming in today, right, was a little bit, funky into the close, but then the trends are starting to go up, right, for instance. And then, here's a pullback. It pulled back right to the volumetric level, pulled back right to the indicator itself, and then back up. Here's another pullback right to that, the Jaws line, back up, right? And then things started to get a little bit fuzzy, today. So, but it does help, I think. I think it gives, some clues and into trend, right? Especially even intraday when trading on the short-term time frame. So just test it out with some different, time frames that you like to trade. If you like the 15-minute time frame or the 30-minute time frame or 60, just kind of see how it works for you. But it is pretty cool. I think it would be useful. So I'm gonna incorporate it into my 5-minute time, trading, and just see if it gives us any a little bit of an edge. An extra edge, right? Other than just just following price. So sometimes it's fun to have something else like that, just to give confirmations. Jay, this is the question I asked about. I know, I remember, and so and I appreciate you bringing it up, Jay. And I think I tweeted back at you. I was like, I said I need to do a video on it one day, and so it hit me today. I've been having fun with some of the graphics. Yesterday we did the doji sandwich, so I did a sandwich, and I was like, I think an alligator might be a fun picture, so it'll be appropriate to talk about it today. So nice stuff, man. Yeah, thanks, Jay. I'm an expert at looking at things after the fact. I'd be, my coulda shoulda account would be, I'd be a billionaire, right, with all the stuff I see after the fact, right? When you're in it, and we put our money on the line, we just have to go with what we know and our experience with it, and our best setups, and that are consistent, right? And then we use our percentages to our advantage, right? So, after the fact, it's always easy to look at it. So, but during the day, it's fun. We go live. We do our live stream and stuff, and it's fun. It's like calling a football game, and like calling the price action and stuff like that. Like, hey, we got this bullish candle right here. There's always a lot of action during the day, so that is pretty fun. Prayer Kid, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in, man. I hope you're feeling well. Hope you're doing well, man. I saw you tweet a few things today, so I'm glad you're kind of back into it and showing us some levels. Appreciate that. Thanson, what's up, my friend, my buddy? What's up? The Bane of FinTwit reported. Oh, dude, you're doing great, man. And Thanson recently joined the Positive Trends team, and has just been doing great with his ideas, and it makes it just a great addition to the team, and everybody is really appreciative of him being there. So it's good to see you, man. Casey, how are you? What's up, Shirley? Great level. Let's see. Great stuff. Let's take a look at what you got. Let's see what we got today. I hope you had a good trading day today, too. ARQL. Big push. Don't you love it when the market is crashing, and then you have these ones that are just putting in new highs? It's just you just gotta love it. So really, really good stuff there. Nice move. Trend line. Trend is up until proven otherwise, so therefore levels are good. Elon Musk. Another big green bar, big green day. Surely you know how to find these. So good stuff. Makes us all happy. Like that the end of the world isn't here. So that was a nice push right there. Possible follow through to the upside. Nice trend, upward trend. MDR. Again, nice little pop right there. A little under $10, type thing. So, but it is something. There's your high. There's your pivot. Trend is up as long as it stays over that volumetric level. ATRS. Huge pop, but pulled back a little bit, so just be careful with that. So a little, penny thing might get some follow through. Been chopping around here for a while. It's got to get above that 336 level. Volumetric. HCA. HCA, is this chart loaded? Okay, there we go. So HCA, surely nice kind of breakout right here through this. Hello. That level, right? That's kind of your ascending triangle right there. This one did not give a push below, so they give a nice pop up. So yeah, so your next kind of low, that 144 is possible. BLL. I love these stocks that you find, Shirley. Like, they're so cool. I mean, you don't. It's not like the standard kind of FANG stuff. This is just kind of like, hey, I like to trade. I know what I like, and I like it when they go up. So, but yeah, ball. We've been tracking for a while. Been holding this pitchfork. It's back above this pitchfork level, so just make sure it holds those levels there. PDCO. Got above the volumetric level, so you have a shot on that one. SNDC4S, shop 2 days of overvalued downgrades. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we need to see more of that and beyond too. But yeah. So Shirley, I'm going to skip all through these other ones just to give other folks more time. And look at that, Carl, what is happening? We've got Beyond. I just mentioned that right there. So Beyond is beyond belief, right? Who would have thought that today it would have put in a bullish green candle? Amazing. Well, everything was wow. Gosh, this thing is crazy. I mean, crazy. 12-point bar. Looks like an inside bar too. Yeah, inside bar as well. This thing was really looking like it was ready to go down, all the way. But we've been kind of Elliott waving this thing. So we have wave 3. Here's your A. Here's your B. Possible C. But don't forget wave C. Right? These things come in. So let's see. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 3, 3, 5. So it could be working on a wave 5 down. So 1, 2, 3 could be pulling up here 4, and then finally push. So I'll maybe give another update. If you put in a doji day tomorrow, that might give it a potential shot to the downside to start filling that gap. So something to think about in there. BKNG. Yeah, just be careful here. Just kind of look at this chart. So these volume levels and all that stuff. It did have a big red bar that. Oh, goodness gracious! A big red bar that's closed back into this channel. Okay, so just be careful here. It does have a pitchfork level to right here at this 1819. So see if it wants to stay in this channel. It might get tight in here and then possible push. So just be careful there. Amazon. 35-point move today, and I can't remember if this was an inside day. No, not quite. It gave like a bit of a hammer yesterday, so that failed. Yeah, that tail fell to the downside back in this kind of congestion zone right here, which is the former breakout zone. So see how it handles those levels. It's looking kind of out here, right? It feels like it needs to touch something, right? So if the market is really stinky, we get down to 1766, but if it's up, we get up to that kind of 1950 level. So something to think about there. Regeneron. Very interesting. If I can get to it. Where are we? Hello. There we are. Sorry, guys. Where did it go? All right, inside day. So use caution. Inside day. Possible rate to the downside. Right. We got a couple key levels here. These were old levels. These can be removed. Okay, so just a little bit of caution there, right? Inside day break to the downside could test that 298 or at least the 300 level, right? So trend is is down on this overall, right? I'm just taking this last pivot point, right? Low, right? In general, it's down, but this could be a bump and run working. There's your level there. There's this. So that could be your bump. We could be working on a run. So inside day break to the upside could start to test that 335, and if it breaks through there, then you got 374 ahead. So that's a possibility. So nice stuff. And then Carl, URI. Yep, kind of breaking through these levels here, a little bit tricky, right? Kind of starting to, it's like right at that trend line, so just watch the stochastic here too. It's starting to curl over, so kind of at a key area on that URI. Let's see what else we got. Mo GW, let's take a couple of those. So Mo low, hello. Do we have one here? Okay, so there we go. So Mo, it's holding that as support. Again, the overall trend is down. Just see I like the stochastic kind of curling over here. You're holding these volumetric levels. Might push itself up to 52. Just be careful with these. I think they got like some sort of, I think after hours, there was I saw some news on this. Like you can no longer sell e-cigarettes in like San Francisco or something like that. Yeah, so it was gapping down a little bit after hours. So just be careful with that. There might be some news on it. This is a tough one to trade overall. GWW. Nice little breakdown there. Yeah, just be careful. It's kind of looking see if we get, it's not really much we can do with this. It's just kind of sort of breaking down. Just watch if it breaks down any further, that 257 level, and see if it gets some support there. Cool, and then Burl. Burl's another tough one to trade too. It gets really spready. Stochastic's starting to break down. It's had this nice, really, really tight channel right here, but it could be breaking down below that right now. So just use caution with that one too. Also, just Microsoft. Is this the pullback I've been waiting for? Awesome, man. That is a great question. I know when everything's just kind of hurling, right, or burling everywhere. It's tough to think like that, right? So here's your pullback, right? Break down through that upward trend line, right? But look where it went to. Right to the channel. Pretty long-term channel, right? One breakdown out of it. So just use just take that as a warning, right? It could break down out of that channel further, but this could be, like you said, the pullback you've been waiting for. It did pull back to the bottom of the channel. So that looks pretty good too. Golly, I've got a big list of longs for tomorrow. So Facebook is the only one that actually is looking pretty weak, and that's been on the long list for a while. So pretty cool stuff. Experience and thoughts. How are you? Roku and Uber. Yeah, let's take a look. So Roku has been interesting. The candlesticks tell a big story, but so does the trend line, right? So we had this all-time high right here, and so activate. So we have that all. Let's just go here. It's fine. So we have this high right here. So you go to the next pivot below it. So we have that. This was your key warning day right here. That was your breakdown below the trend line, right? And we this is on the short game plan recently, right? Just on Monday. And so so that was that, right? Then you break down the below that low. That's your minor pivot, and then down, right? So at this point, there's some potential support here around 89, 89.90 level. After that, next level is 80, right? And then you got the gap below that. So right now that breakdown was achievable, right? Was tradable. Wendy, how's it going? How are you? Good morning, Singapore. What's up? IWM and SPY. Why not? Yeah, let's just look at the Russell, right? The market leading indicator. And let's see. So a couple interesting things here. We had this uptrend right here. Started to break down, came back up, new highs, activate. So we could redraw that here from when we talked about it last time. Then we had that breakdown bar, minor pivot, down. So right now, your next kind of Fibonacci level that we're looking at, see that bar right here, held as support, is at 148. So if it still wants down, 148 might be the way to go. Or we'll see if it reverses back up. And then SPY. This, I don't know what I was doing with this green thing here. Okay. But in general, here, I must have been doing like a reaction line. Sorry, guys. But anyway, take that off for now. There's your high. There's your pivot. Again, same thing. Breaking down. Next possible level, like we said, we looked at those gaps earlier, is at 284. But this is just one thing to kind of look at here on the, on the daily, right? So the daily with SPY, we caught this this break here. This was a trade of the week last week with this bull flag right here out of the cloud, and then couple nice gaps. Inside day, started to break that inside day, and then just got that follow through here. So next kind of little target here is this gap. So we'll see if that is where it wants to find support, and then see if it wants to work its way back up after that. So SMAC4S, Microsoft went under the channel bottom and bounced over with 2 green bars above. So worth a shot. Nice. And call saw. Yep. Cool, no problem. Bounce on price fix news on the competition. That's right. I forgot about the price fixing of chicken. Isn't that goofy that like some fake meat company would bounce on like chicken news? It's just like, I don't see the interrelation. I really don't. But yeah, that makes sense. But it does make sense. So don't think Beyond can run. I don't think so either. I think it's ready to work on that wave C down. Jason, we can look at GS, FedEx, and VXX as well. Sure. So GS. So GS is GS. Couldn't Netfry will like this one, right? So I've got a big channel on this one, guys. I'll show you this one. I stalked this one forever, and it was like, oh, this will just bounce up and down the channel. Look how big this channel is. See that gold? I know I got a lot of nonsense in here, but this channel has been good since like February of 2018, and it has just held these channels up and down and up and down and up and down, and then finally undershot it right here, right? Then back up through earnings, top of the channel, retesting the top of the channel. So I mean, in general, I mean my thesis is like, okay, eventually it's going to come back down, right? But it's just been real annoying up here, right? So so just something to keep an eye on. It's got a nasty bar today, possible hanging man. The Bollinger Band is right here at 191. So I mean, am I looking for an epic push down here? They might do it to give himself a nice run, but you have earnings right here in July. So I mean, is it going to flush all the way down there before then? Probably not, unless there's some sort of scandal going on, which they're known for, Malaysia. Okay, FedEx. So FedEx. I remember FedEx being kind of boring for a little bit today. I mean, it's tough to trade, but yeah, pretty nasty day. We had the earnings. Wait, earnings tonight? Hold on. It was yesterday, right? Golly. So nasty day today. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gap. I'm just nasty bars, right? And this was on the our short radar as well. too, but let's take a look. Yeah, so topping tail off the weekly down. Let's go to the yeah. So it's gonna be chop. It's gonna chop into earnings. So this is one of those ones where Iron Condor would probably pay out okay, but yeah. So we'll look at the 15 orb on that one tomorrow. That should be on the list for sure. Yeah, and it is. Okay, good. And then what else? What else? VXX. Yeah, so VXX is another one. We looked at this the other day. Let's just look at the daily chart here. It says it's perking up, right? It's got room to go. You're kind of up to that 27 area. Inside day up, right? Actually, double inside day up. So I got some movement today, as the market went down. So I mean, it could spike again. We could fill those gaps below in this buy, around 27.9, around those levels, and then we, might pull back a little bit. So something to keep in mind there. That is a possible. If you like to short the VIX, that is one possible area to do it, right around the 50 and the 20 mid-Bollinger Band convergence. Jay, you just learned how to effectively use channel. That's awesome, man. Glad to help. Best kept secret, TLT. Good to see you, TLT. Inside day gap up, right? Tough. This, TLTs. These really gappy ones like the gold and all that stuff. These are really really tough to trade. Just really narrow range day. I mean, it was a super narrow range day. 37 cents. One of the narrowest ones in a while. This is 38 cents back here. So narrowest range day since mid-May. So it could get a move one way or another. It is at the top of the upper Bollinger Band, so just kind of keep an eye on that there. It looks like I have some fib band lines up here too, just from some recents. So if anything, maybe a pullback too. So we'll see. Tough one to trade, but good one. Trina, Ulta, and Baba, what's happening? Good to see you. So Ulta is 15 orb list today. Got blasted. Got Amazon yesterday. It actually stayed an inside day today, and it held the cloud. So a lot of people were saying this is old news. So I'm not surprised to see a little bit of a recovery today. I'd like to see if it breaks today's highs tomorrow and see if we can get a little push to the upside. In terms of the 15 orb, here's your 15 orb level. Looks like we used that recently, and then kind of came back, held it, tested it again, and then launched at the end of the day. So has some potential, for an inside day break tomorrow. Baba. Yeah, I like the close on this one. That is good. I like the hourly candle there over the cloud, and just here is tough. I mean, you're kind of had this kind of old bull flag right here, and basically a channel. So there's kind of the undershoot right there. I mean, if anything, if it fails today to the downside, that 162 level might be a possibility. So yeah, Baba's a little kind of funky right now. So Access tonight, payday coming soon. Cha-ching. Thoughts on it? Yep. So we just looked at Baba right there. Yeah. So Baba is tough. Baba is also tough. You got a gap above. You got gaps below. It's just all over the place. So look at this one for into the G20 for some possible moves off of that. All right. So just kind of one to look at. So if it does pull back over the next couple days into the weekend, we'll see. We'll see if we get some move on that. SMD-C4S, yes, but Tyson is making oh, that is right. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Good point. Jason Liu, yesterday was a big buy on 148.45 put for FedEx. Well, we'll see how they do. We'll see how they do on that one. Looks a little choppy this morning, but we'll see. We'll see how they do. So the FedEx beats on ER after the close, but they missed a mile exactly on the last ER. Raid CLT are only a 2-year low, so careful along with that. Yes, exactly. And that narrow range day is a little bit tricky. So yeah, cool beans. Well, good stuff, guys. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Awesome chart request, great participation. Really liked talking about and learning about the alligator, the Williams alligator today. So just keep that in mind. It looks like a cool one to track some trend and all that stuff. So other than trend lines. So good stuff's there. So please be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Also check us out on Twitter. We post lots of cool charts and ideas there. And Tyson's the largest beef producer. That is interesting. So I'm not surprised. And so So yeah, and then if you really, really like us, check out our positive-trends.com. We have the newsletter. We've got a cool alert service, which basically you get access to like all my trades and Thanson's trades too. So it's really, really cool stuff there. Appreciate everybody's support. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll catch you guys soon. Thank you again. Have an awesome night.